Along the mighty Mississippi, St. Louis, Missouri, with its distinctive arch, the gateway to the West. That's the saying. Game 2, the Padres and the Cardinals. And hits a high deep drive to right center field, tearing a long way, and that ball is gone. Touch 'em all. Oh my! A dramatic pinch hit home run by Will Venable to give the Padres a 5-3 extra inning win last night in the first game of this long road trip. As we welcome you to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Padres and the Cardinals, the second game of this 4-game series. And good evening, everyone, with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, the eve for the 4th of July, an exciting weekend, and, well, some pyrotechnics provided by Venable last night, and that was the halfway mark of the season, 81 more to go.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how quickly the season goes. The All-Star break is right around the corner. Next thing you know, the trading deadline and the teams that are in contention, the chess match, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully the Padres are still in contention.
Well, it was great theater last night, and to have good drama, you need a lot of different actors to play a role, not always as minor as you think. Now, who was your hidden hero?
My hero was the bullpen last night, so it's going to be a four-headed monster, starting with Brandon Maurer. Handed it over to Joaquin Benoit, Sean Kelly, and then Kimbrel closed it out. But all told, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 1 walk. They struck out 6. And pitching on the road, especially here in St. Louis where they've got a great home record, this was tough to do.
It wasn't only Venable who starred last night. It was young Austin Hedges delivering an RBI. And how about Derek Norris playing first base? He saves the game with that play. It would have been over on Molina's bid for a base hit. And then Hedges, with the Padres trying to protect their lead in the bottom of the 11th, he makes a great stop to save the win for San Diego, 5-3.
Yeah, these Padres knew what was at store. If one run comes across the extra innings, that's the ball game. So they're laying out, getting dirty. We've seen a lot of that this year.
Interesting battle of right-handers. Both competed collegiately in Texas. Andrew Kastner from TCU and Michael Waka from Texas A&M.
Texas A&M Aggie.
And it's going to be a good one.
It is. They're going to lock horns. The 2 right-handers from Texas. Andrew Kastner, 17th start. Hey, 2 stressful innings last time out in his 7 innings of work. Only 2 runs, no walks. But what was the big deal? He's got a new grip on the sinker. It creates a little bit of movement, and also that changeup is nasty as well.
A 7-2 win for Kastner in his last out. Now Michael Waka, he's got 10 wins, but not so good of late.
Yeah, how about the first 9 starts, Dick? Undefeated. The minuscule ERA 1.87, but the last 6 starts, he's been getting some pitches up. The breaking ball has been flat, hence the opponent's hitting .255, a 4.17 ERA, but he's getting run support. He's getting 6.3 runs a game. Hopefully the Padres can turn it around and take game 2 of the series against the Cardinals.
Well, it's only 11 days before the All-Star game. Who will be the National League starting third baseman? There's quite a battle, including the third baseman of the St. Louis Cardinals, Matt Carpenter. Well, Mike and Mark are going to debate just who should be the hot corner starter in Cincinnati. It's into one, drives it deep to right. Hayward going back, and that ball is gone. Tyson Ross will touch them all.
Tyson Ross not just producing on the mound, but at the plate yesterday with his first career home run. You know, this starting rotation is extremely competitive, especially with what they can do at the plate. So much so that they had a little side bet going on who would hit the first home run this season. So Tyson not only earns bragging rights, but a little extra spending money on the side.
Yeah, we got a little side bet going on, but I was just lucky to be the first one. You know, everyone on the staff can swing a little bit, so, you know, I just happened to be the one that got lucky.
If anybody won besides myself, I think Tyson. I would have given my money to Tyson. Cash, you would hear about it all year. Who else? James always talks about it. And Despy probably wouldn't ever. I mean, I didn't think he was going to get a base hit, but.
Mine was on Shields. Maurer had Tyson. So, but I figured it'd probably be one of those two. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, we were down a little money as far as the pitchers go, but no, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, you know, we've all been talking about, you know, him hitting his first home run, and it was a good feeling for him.
I took a poll around the clubhouse and found it shocking. Nobody picked Odrisamer Despaigne. I mean, he has a single and a double already. A home run could be next. You know who does have a home run, though? Is Andrew Cashner. He's got one in his pocket, maybe a little bit more tonight as he takes the mound. Big win last night. Can they follow suit? Game 2, Padres, Cardinals, coming up from Busch Stadium.
Brought to you by GMC. Precision matters. By Petco. What we feed them matters. By Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you could save. 82 degrees here along the Mississippi at Busch Stadium. A sellout crowd on this Friday night. The Padres and the winningest team in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals, and they're really tough at home, although they've lost their last 3. They are a brilliant 29-9. All right, fans, who are you joining forces with on Saquon's Pick the Stick? Weigh in, Twitter for a chance to win a free foursome of golf, courtesy of Saquon Golf Resort. There are our picks. Hashtag I'm with and the last name of the broadcaster you want to join forces with. If they win, you could win 2. 1 random winner selected nightly. Follow us, Fox Sports SD for more details. And Waka delivers, and we're underway, and a soft line drive, one hopper by Alonso right to the third baseman Carpenter. A look at the starting lineup for the Padres, brought to you by Toyota. Alonso wasted no time swinging. Derek Norris hit second, then Matt Kemp. Justin Upton in the cleanup spot. Jan Solarte hit his third home run last night. Jed Jerko, a key double, but they couldn't get him home in the late innings. Will Venable, the hero, with a pinch hit home run. Clint Barmas, and then Andrew Kashner. Derek Norris, his average dipping down to 238. Takes a strike. Second on the club in RBIs and home runs. 11 homers, and with 45 runs batted in, just one behind Upton. Chopped over the 6'6" Waka. There's Wong to make the play. Couple of quick outs on the ground for Michael Waka.
And the scouting report for big right-hander Michael Waka, brought to you by Tough Shed. He's got a fastball, cutter, changeup, curveball. He's a strike thrower, and a good downward plane on that big frame that he has. It's fastball, the four-seamer mostly. Downward plane, tough to square up. 16th start for Michael Waka.
6 feet 6 inches tall, from Pleasant Grove, Texas, and Texas A&M. He celebrated his 24th birthday just 2 days ago. Matt Kemp takes a strike on the inside corner. He's been especially effective, Waka, here at Busch Stadium. In his career, he's 11-2. Line drive, right field, base hit. Kemp has the first base hit of the night, going the opposite way, and that'll bring up Justin Upton. And the Cardinals defense is brought to you by Renovation Realty. Grichuk in left. Pham gets his first start, just called up from Memphis. First major league start. Hayward in right field. Infield of Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Scruggs, with Molina behind the plate for the right-hander Michael Waka. Upton last night went 0 for 4 with a walk. Padres as a team, their average slowly sinking through June and now into July. Ground ball up the middle, carves right over second base. Wong goes to the bag for the out unassisted. That's it for the Padres first. Kelton Wong will come on with a bat, lead off the bottom half of the inning. And the strikeout. Andrew Kashner struck him out. 28-year-old Kashner, it's his first start ever against the Cardinals, just as Waka's making his first against the Padres. And the Cardinals lineup brought to you by Hyundai. much like last night, except down at the bottom of the order. Wong, Carpenter, Peralta, Hayward in the cleanup spot, then Molina and Grichuk. Xavier Scruggs, San Diego area lad, and Tommy Pham in his first major league start in center field, and then Michael Walkout. Wonder if his nickname is Willie. And we're underway in the bottom half of the inning, and Wong, first ball swinging, fouls it back.
Well, the Cardinals definitely have the golden ticket when it comes to his arm of Michael Walker. That's for sure. Big game pitcher he is. A couple of years ago in the NLCS. Andrew Cashner is also that guy with a golden arm as well.
High fly ball to right center field. Venable into the gap. Oh, he got a lot of that one, but flies out. One away.
And time now for the Padres scouting report on Andrew Cashner, brought to you by Montalvo. Build on last outing. We talked about Andrew in our open. 7 solid innings. He did not walk a batter against the Diamondbacks and execute the slider location. We know he's got the good fastball. He can change speeds. But if he really locates that slider, he's going to have a good night in the big leagues.
Glenn Hoffman there in the dugout, setting up the defense, pushing Solarte more toward shortstop as the shift is on for Matt Carpenter. Carpenter slumped through June. The Cardinal fans pleased to see him last night, although his 2 hits were bloop hits. He did get a couple of hits and a couple of walks and score 2 runs. One and one. 29 years of age now, Matt Carpenter. I guess just the fact that his hometown was Prosper, Texas, you expected him to do well. And he has, especially of late here with the Cardinals. Left field, that'll send Upton toward the line for the second out. And the Padres defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. With Upton, Venable, and Kemps fanning from left to right. Solarte at third, Barmas the shortstop. Jerko and Alonso will guard the right side with Derek Norris behind the plate for Andrew Cashner.
Dick, you touched upon it. Your heroes. It was a few Padres last night's game. Just a great job. Norris, Hedges. No errors last night.
And even Alexi Amarista, who played third base for the first time this season. He did bobble a ball, but scampered after it and got the out. Jan Solarte with a home run.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a lot of contributors and made for a full cast of characters in a wonderful drama last night. And the Padres needed that win to get the standing room only for tonight on their way to 9 more on this road trip. Johnny Peralta looks as if he's going to be the starter at shortstop in the All-Star game for the Nationals. The only non-injured player with a .300 batting average. And he leads in home runs and runs batted in, 11 homers. Three and one.
Well, no problem getting hot and staying hot here in the Show Me State, St. Louis, Missouri. Humidity is high. It is warm. No problem for these pitchers.
3-1. Ground ball to short. Barmas has it across the diamond, and a 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Cashner. To the second, leadoff man will be Jan Solarte.
things up, maybe get some good juju. Well, that's exactly what Pat Murphy did, and he borrowed something from Yangervis Solarte. Yesterday, he borrowed one of the wristbands that Solarte wears, and there's a picture on it. I said, who is that? That is apparently Yangervis Solarte. I'm not quite sure it is the resemblance, but he wore it yesterday. They won, so he's wearing it again. Yangervis wears them every day on both arms, and now Pat's got one for his left arm.
Yeah, that's good, Chris. It worked. Solarte homered his first time up last night to left field, batting right-handed. His other 2 home runs hitting left-handed. His stronger side, at least statistically, 263 from the left side, 249 overall.
That's one of the neat things about baseball, sports in general. Everyone, I'm not saying everyone, but the superstition, just to mix things up a little bit, try to turn it around. Some guys might have a lucky T-shirt. Some guys might have a lucky pair of cleats.
Did you have a lucky charm, a good luck charm?
I tried everything, Dick, but nothing worked for me. Just look at my record.
Solarte caught looking. That's the first strikeout for Wacha.
Good located fastball from Michael Wacha. He likes to throw that four seam. When we talk velocity from Wacha, he could get it up there 92 to 97, change speeds on it, and there's the wristbands, and we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if he has them next at bat.
Cheturko, a double last night to right center field. Will Venable to follow here in the top of the second. No score early. Tap foul off first.
That's another weapon from Michael Wacha. Looked like a little cutter that he just threw right there.
It's interesting that Wacha was the 19th player selected overall, first round pick in 2012. Andrew Kashner was the 19th player selected 4 years earlier. 2 Texans, 2 right-handers, both selected in the exact same spot in the draft. Two and two to Jerko.
We'll have to keep an eye, Dick, on the location of that four-seam fastball from Wacha against right-handers, and maybe if these guys get 2-3 times around, if it's consistently away, or does he like to go in? Ooh.
Jerko on a changeup. 2 strikeouts for Wacha, Solarte, and Jerko to open the second inning. And tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. Padre leaders, career pinch hit home runs. Last night, Venable's second pinch homer. Jerry Turner has the record, 9. Jesus Guzman clubbed 6. And how about Sweeney and Kotsay are on the list?
Oh, yeah. Got to give some love to those guys. Hitters extraordinaire, Kotsay, Sweeney, and Will Venable coming up big time last night.
Swing and a miss. He's had good success in his career against St. Louis, Venable. .319 average with 5 home runs. Quickly behind, though, 0-2 on the count.
I found it hard to believe, but I triple checked. And that extra base hit that Will had last night in extra innings, it was the first extra base hit in his career in extra innings.
Ground ball up the middle, and Wong can't get it. Venable sweeps a single back through the middle. Padres' second hit with 2 outs will bring up Clint Barmas.
That's a good at bat. Check out the swing of Will Venable. Wacha likes to locate down and away the lefty. He's got a little bit of run to it. Shortens up the swing and uses the big part of the field. Beats Colton Wong at second base.
Barmas a key double last night. A challenged play. Ball landed right on the foul line down the right field corner. And that set the scene for Venable's pinch hit home run. Barmas was 1 for 4 last night, the double. Hitting solid .291. Low and away, 2-0. Wacha became a national name 2 years ago in the National League Championship Series. Remember, he went 2-0 against Kershaw, 13 2/3 scoreless innings as a 22-year-old. popped up. Barmas sends one in shallow right, and coming in is Hayward to make the catch. Bottom of the second, no score.
Start. He got some ground balls when he really needed it. Big Paul Goldschmidt working down in the zone. Now Andrews got the 95, 96 mile an hour fastball two-seamer that has great action down. It's really hard for a hitter to elevate it. Therefore, when he keeps it down around the knees or below, tough to lay off. They hit the top half of the baseball, sometimes even get jammed for the old 6-3 double play. Andrew Kastner, hopefully you got that two-seamer working tonight, working down in the zone and having your infielders work for you.
Retired the side in order in the first. Couple of fly balls on the ground out. Here's Jason Hayward batting cleanup. Came over to the Cardinals from the Atlanta Braves in the offseason. That was the trade that sent Shelby Miller, the talented young right-hander, to Atlanta. High drive, and that ball is hit well. Upton going back to the wall and makes the catch. It's a big ballpark, or at least it plays big.
We talked about Andrew Kastner working down. Look where this pitch is. It's upper thigh area, out and away, short stroke to the baseball, and Jason Hayward letting Andrew Kastner supply all the power. Just got under it a little bit too much, and that's a can of corn for Justin Upton.
Yadier Molina apparently on his way to another start in the All-Star game, deservedly so. Good hitter, 286, and considered the best of the defensive catchers in the big leagues. 7 consecutive Gold Gloves for Molina.
I mean, let's be honest. Yadier Molina could be hitting 160, and he'd still probably win. It's a popularity contest, and it's nothing against Yadier Molina. The guy's a heck of a catcher. He's proven it. I mean, the guy's a stud.
6 consecutive All-Star appearances.
It's just gotten to the point to where when you mention catching, rightfully so, Yadier Molina. He can do it.
Checking back on his record, he has only 2 home runs this year. He's hit as many as 22 in a season during his St. Louis Cardinal years. 3-1. He'll be 33 in 10 days. Puerto Rican.
I mean, what a great career, being behind the plate, getting beat up, and still handling pitching staffs, rookies, veterans alike.
Full count.
I think every pitcher, Dick, would love to throw to a guy like Yadier Molina.
He just exudes confidence himself, and that just carries right on out to the mound.
Absolutely.
Cashner, 3-2. Another foul. Well, it's a sea of red here at Busch Stadium, as we talked about it last night. It's just hard to find two people sitting side by side that don't have either red or a St. Louis Cardinal paraphernalia. And now and then you'll see a blue shirt. We found a couple of Padre fans last night. It's a sellout. Fouled again.
Oh, quite a battle here. Molina can't catch up to the 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and then Andrew just drops a slider that's fouled off. Here's the slider up, and Molina out in front of it just a little bit, topping that pitch.
Cashner's 17th start. Looking for his 4th win. Fly ball. Innocent high fly. Right field Kemp. 2 away. And a reminder, our closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Randall Grichuk. He's been subbing for the injured left fielder Matt Holliday and doing a good job. 7 home runs. 5 triples to lead the team. Just 23 years of age, from Rosenberg, Texas.
Pretty much a contact hitter. When you look at his minor league numbers, really avoiding the strikeout. So adjusting that swing according to the count, putting the ball in play.
Breaking ball drops in there. 0-2. Well, the first 5 hitters, Cashner has induced 4 fly ball outs. 96 on the fastball.
Andrew's pumping that heater. Making the Cardinal hitters trying to prove to him that they can hit it, and they're not catching up to it.
Got him off speed. Slider. First strikeout for Cashner, who has retired 6 up, 6 down.
in the Sweetsbury Williams, who many of you will know as Greg Brady, as the Brady Bunch. Thanks so much for joining us. You threw out the first pitch. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in St. Louis here this weekend.
I'm a neighbor now. I moved to Branson, Missouri, here in the Midwest, and came on up to St. Louis to be a part of the Cardinal game with the Padres, and then welcome in the 4th of July. I'll be the Grand Marshal at the 4th of July parade tomorrow, and catch a little Melissa Etheridge tonight, and introduce a fireworks. So it's a fun-filled weekend.
Well, you said you live in Branson. There's so many reruns for the Brady Bunch that I think that we all feel like it's still going on, but fill us in about what you've been doing recently with your career.
It's like realizing a dream. I have a musical variety show there. It's all about 70s music. It's called 70s Music Celebration. It's a big live cast, live band. It's multimedia. It's interactive. It's like throwing this huge party 3 times a week. And I love living in Branson, and I love doing my show there.
That sounds something like it's up Dick Emberg's alley. And, Dick, I think you'll like this. First of all, you grew up in Santa Monica, Dodgers fan. Throughout first pitch today, tell us where you learned how to play baseball. Well, now, see, that's a big advantage of being a Brady was I had an episode where Don Drysdale actually taught me how to throw a pitch, and, well, you saw the results of that effort right there tonight. Hey, that was pretty good. First pitch strike right down the middle. I appreciate the time. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Dick, back to you.
Well, thank you, Chris. And he had an excellent mentor in Don Drysdale. That's for certain.
I thought he did quite well, having some fun out there. That
would have been a strike.
Yes, it would have been.
With or without Bob Davidson behind the plate. Yonder Alonso, he grounded out the first time. As Waka with one out here in the scoreless third. Alonso at .310 with the Padres' top batting average. And breaking ball drops in there, 0-2.
A good off-speed curveball from Waka at 74. So we've seen already the fastball, the cutter, the curveball. We've seen the one changeup, I believe.
Bounce toward first. That's going to stay fair right to the bag, and an easy put out for Scruggs. Well, how about the keys to the game, Mark Grant? Brought to you by our San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, yesterday's victory was such a huge win in extra innings here in St. Louis, a team that has a great home record. So build off yesterday. Derek Norris was a big part of that win yesterday and set the table for Kemp and Upton. Why? Because the Padres in 11 games, 9-2 when Kemp and Upton have an RBI.
All right, very good.
So set the table for those two honchos.
Padres have 2 hits, both singles, both with 2 outs in the inning. And we have 2 outs, bases empty here for Norris, who takes a strike. Kemp singled to right field in the first, and Will Venable grounded a single to center field with 2 outs in the second. Foul back. Norris falls behind 0-2.
Stay tuned. We've got a game break coming up. Giants Nationals from the nation's capital. Mike Pomerantz is going to fill you in on that one, along with Mark Sweeney.
Norris wore the collar last night, 0 for 5. Ground ball right side. Wong ranging to the outfield grass. The throw not in time, and watch out now. As Norris goes tumbling over the first baseman, Scruggs. Boy, he just, whether it's a foul tip, it's a bat in the dugout, or running into an infielder, just seems that Norris and contact are a constant marriage. Let's hope this isn't anything serious.
You know, as soon as that ball was thrown from Wong, from our vantage point, you could see that Scruggs had to go on the other side to get it, and that's where the collision. I'm just hoping it looks like on contact, he had his feet up off the ground, so he really didn't get caught as far as the spikes. Okay, feet. The left leg, maybe.
It's like a block on the left knee.
Oh, it's his shoulder he's looking at.
Non-throwing, fortunately. In the course of 162 games, every player, if you go in the clubhouse after the game today, both clubhouses, it's just nothing but bandages. Everyone's got a bandage somewhere or a wrap somewhere.
Focus on the left shoulder, the one with the patch. That's closest to you at home. Okay, the hand goes down, elbow, tuck and roll.
Yeah, so often, especially in football, when a player is hit or is midair and he comes down with his hand down, and the injury occurs in the shoulder.
Athletic trainer Will Sinan out there having a chat with Derek Norris. And it's funny you say that, Dick, as far as talking about going to the clubhouse and all the work that these catchers put in. Yadier Molina is number 1 in Major League Baseball in innings caught. Well, guess who's number 2? The guy you're looking at right there, Derek Norris. So a lot of work behind the plate, getting beat up, and he's going to remain in the game.
And these good St. Louis Cardinal fans give him a hand, kind of a wish you well applause. They know the game, and they realize that the Cardinals will win more than their share. Nevertheless, you can applaud good baseball by the visiting team as well. So 3 hits. It is an infield hit. Matt Kemp, single to right, his first time. First pitch misses outside. 2-0. Well, that's what my father in Michigan taught me. He said, when we go to the game, who do you want to win? I said, of course, I want the Tigers to win. They're our team. He said, okay, you cheer hard for them. But if the other team makes a good play, it's okay to applaud that. It's okay to give them a hand. You know, that's good baseball.
Yeah.
That's why we're going. And in some ways, if you don't have that attitude, you kind of miss part of the game. I mean, you want your team to win and you want to cheer hard for them, but if you can't see something that's beautiful, that's orchestrated by the opposing team, you're missing part of the show.
There's some youngsters there learning the game here in St. Louis.
3-1. Jose Valentin whispering something in the ear of Derek Norris with 2 outs. Is he going to be going on this pitch? Nope. Foul tip. They play Kemp pretty much straight away in the outfield and infield. Some teams have been using the shift on him.
First 3-ball count tonight for Michael Wacha.
And ball 4. So the Padres have the runners at first and second for the first time tonight. First walk, and it's time for our top tier player profile brought to you by Arco. And a look at the 24-year-old Wacha. His record at home 11-2 with a 2.47 ERA. Opposing hitters batting only .206.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, Dick, 2 years ago in the NLCS, he was the MVP. I mean, games like that, situations like that, just catapult young pitchers. That's a big game. That affects him later in his career.
Justin Upton, swing and a miss. Rounded to second base his first time. Padres have a man in scoring position, the first in the game. Norris leading from second and Kemp from first. 1-1. 95 on the fastball. Both the pitchers tonight, Wacha and Cashner, 95 plus.
First 2 pitches away, also 4-seamers away. Let's see if he tries to pound Upton that way.
In the dirt, and Molina keeps it in front of him.
1-1 curveball. Nice block by Molina.
Center fielder Pham is slightly into right center, so the left center field alley is a target. The action pitch, and a high pop foul off first, slicing toward the crowd and out of play. Well, the Padres have 2 on, 2 out. Their top RBI man at the plate. And a swing and a miss. Padres strand 2, middle of the third, no score. One loss. Bottom third of the order, no score. St. Louis hitting with Xavier Scruggs from Poway High School. 27 years of age, went to UNLV. He's had some good home run years in the minor leagues. 4 different seasons. He hit 21 to 29 homers. A 19th round selection, 575th player selected. Cardinal scouting, you talk about all the reasons why they're good every year. They get players late in the draft. When they brought Scruggs up from the minor leagues, locals were calling him Savior Scruggs because they were so desperate for another bat. With Matt Adams and Matt Holliday, their number 3 and number 4 hitter, both injured. The lineup is scarce of power. Not by much. That 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2.
So General Manager John Mozeliak there watching tonight's game, wondering what the Redbirds can do. There's John, sporting the bow tie tonight. I think he's big on the bow ties.
Cashner able to scamper off the mound and throw out Scruggs. Good play. That's athletic. 7 in a row now for Cashner. Well, a look at our National University standings in the NL West with the Giants losing. They're now 3.5 back of the Dodgers. Dodgers are hosting the Mets tonight with Kershaw on the mound. And then Arizona, San Diego, Colorado. Tommy Pham, and these fans give Pham a hand as he debuts as a starter with the Cardinals, just called up from Memphis. Pham was hitting .333 at the AAA club. Well, I guess he got to hit the last game because it's .338 now. Chris, what do you have for us?
Well, Dick, Tommy Pham has a pretty interesting story. He spent so much time on the disabled list, and part of it was because his vision started to go away, and blurriness, double vision. It was a syndrome called keratinosis, and if you don't catch it early, it can lead to loss of vision. He had a revolutionary eye surgery that helped him. He now just has to wear contact lenses.
Farmers makes the play behind second base, and Pham is out. 8 straight now for Cashner. Yeah, that can be a very debilitating visual disease, and they caught it early. That again, professional athletics, the medical staffs and the training staff, they're so good that you couldn't be in a better place if you have a problem.
Sure.
Because they detect it and they get the right attention toward that disease or disorder.
Yeah, and the great thing about being a professional athlete with any organization, if you need something right now, you just go to the office. You don't have to have somebody call up, make an appointment. One of the luxuries of being a professional athlete. Staff always on hand.
Michael Wacha is 5 for 56 in his career. And a strike from Cashner, 1-1. This year he's 4 for 27, has a double in the 4 hits. One and two. As we mentioned, Cashner has not started in his career against the Cardinals. He's pitched in 6 games, all in relief with the Cubs and Padres. And he gets Wacha swinging. A perfect 3 innings for Andrew Cashner. On to the 4th. No score.
Pacific Beach.
And actually squared off against David Price.
Yes.
Most people know him. And actually, I always thank him when I see him because I think that's probably the reason I got drafted.
Coming up after the postgame show, Padres Live, that postgame show, Padres POV and Extra 1360 Fox Sports San Diego. Hey, check out Sean Kelly going around Pacific Beach on a Segway. Sounds like fun.
You ever do that?
I have, and once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun.
Well, Kelly should be a happy guy. He picked up his first win as a Padre last night in relief. 2 innings, struck out 4 and earned the win. So stay tuned. A lot for you here on this Friday night on Fox Sports San Diego.
Padre and a Charger fan there. Could be a collector's item someday.
Oh, please don't say that now. You're saying because there won't be a
I'm
San
not saying
Diego?
anything.
Oh, okay. You're not?
Guy's got his glove, ready to go.
Solarte, then Jerko and Venable for the Padres in the 4th. They have a hit in each of the 3 innings. Kemp, Venable, and Norris, plus a walk. And this is a high hopper to the first baseman, and taking the play himself is Scruggs for the first down.
Nice play by there. It might not seem like a good play, but Xavier Scruggs playing the big hop. Rather than trying to charge it on the short hop, he knew he had plenty of time. Solarte does not have wheels.
Needs one of those segways, huh?
He does. That's a good, yeah. That's a nice segue about the segue.
Yes. Jed Jerko struck out swinging his first time. Well, last year, some of you may have forgotten, the RBI leader for the Padres was Jerko with 51. Here before the All-Star break, we've got Upton with 46 and Norris with 45. It's a different year.
And that was when Jed was out for a month as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Being hurt.
Of course, the year before, he had a big RBI season. High and away. In 2013, knocked in 63. I think he led the team that year as well. Three balls and a strike to Jerko with bases empty, 1 out, and a scoreless game here in St. Louis tonight. We're in the 4th inning. High fly ball to center field. Didn't quite get it all, and Pham goes back to squeeze the second out. That'll bring up Venable, last night's hero. Off the bench, homeward into the right center field bleachers. Number 6 on the season and a 5-3 win.
That was so clutch, and that was fun to watch. Will Venable, first pitch hunting. Breaking ball all over it.
And Barmas, who had doubled in front of him, made it a 5-3 win.
The Padres had some 2-out hits last night. All 3 hits tonight with 2 outs.
Venable pulls back. It's called a strike. 1-1. Waka went 3-1 to Jerko, and Jerko flied out. Now 2-1 pitch to Venable. High heat.
Ball had a little bit of run to it, elevated as well.
'55th pitch from Waka. Started 7-0, but in his last 6 decisions, 3-3 Waka. But on the season, his ERA 8th best in the National League, 2.77, and opposing hitters batting only .230. And that's a hot shot right to Hayward. A close line out to right field off the bat of Venable. Padre Ted Williams, pinch hitting in the 7th inning against the Angels, collects his first professional hit, a single off the right field wall at LA's Wrigley Field. The 17-year-old stays in the PCL contest to pitch an inning and retires the side in order. Ted Williams, much of that footage, of course, from the 1941 All-Star game when he hit that majestic monster home run. Ted Williams of San Diego playing for the Padres as a 17-year-old rookie.
Love the old PCL history, and there's a Padre fan mixed in among the Redbird fans. He's the center square on Hollywood Squares. I'll take the Padre fan to block, please.
What is that he's eating? That's pretty interesting. Cashner has gone through the order.
That's a leg of lamb or something.
Man.
Oh.
Man hungry.
Fire.
Line drive fouled on the right field side. Kelton Wong, he flied out to center his first at bat. Cashner has maneuvered through the order without allowing a base runner. First 3 innings and a couple of strikeouts. Fly ball, center field. Venable into left center for the first out here in the 4th. 10 in a row now for Cashner.
Still haven't been able to square up that fastball from Andrew Cashner. He has got it working, a little bit of movement along with it.
Matt Carpenter fly to left his first at bat. One of the rare major leaguers that does not use batting gloves. They say he's about as hard a worker as you'll ever find. Line drive, base hit. There's the first hit of the night. Carpenter up the middle with that line drive. After 10 straight outs for Andrew Cashner, Carpenter with the base hit.
Well, he always puts together a good at-bat, and Andrew Cashner trying to get ahead with the fastball, and Carpenter's probably thinking, you know what, if I get one down the middle or outer third, and you can see by Fox Tracks it caught the outside corner, he's going to go after it, try to avoid that slider, even maybe the changeup. Just a good, solid hitter.
Beat the shift. That brings up Peralta. Grounded to short his first at bat, and Cashner for the first time tonight working from the stretch. Ball 1. Infield looking for a ground ball, a chance to turn 2.
Outfield going the other way. Infield playing on the pull side, especially at second base. Jed Jerko close to the bag.
Peralta leads the Cardinals. He's hit into 11 double plays. Two and 0. That's off speed that floated inside.
You know, Andrew throws a two-seamer. We've noted that through the course of the year. He also has been working on off the two-seam grip, just splitting his fingers just a little bit. Not a true split finger, but just to take a little bit off that two-seamer.
Right field, tough play for Kemp, and he makes the catch. Could get a double play. Carpenter's all the way to second base. Double play. What a throw by Kemp. A one-hop strike as Carpenter guessing that Kemp would not be able to make the catch. And Kemp whirling, and look at this throw. He has done it again. Leads the National League with 8 assists. Matt Kemp. He is incredibly accurate as he completes a double play on that line drive by Peralta. You see Carpenter, he's going, and he thought that's in the corner. I'm going to score. But Kemp braces, rocks, and fires. Look at that strike. 9-3 double play.
Hats off to you, Matt Kemp.
That's nice.
Beautiful play.
Top of the 5th inning, no score. It'll be Barmes, Cashner, and Alonso against Michael Wacha.
Tied for most assists in the outfield, Charlie Blackmon and Matt Kemp tied at 8.
Ball 1 to Barmes, who flied to right his first at bat. No runs, 3 hits for San Diego. No runs, 1 hit for the Cardinals. That's a strike. Fouled away.
He works quickly, Michael Wacha does. Andrew Cashner working quickly as well. Hey, Tim Cooney did the same thing last night. Tyson Ross had a good rhythm going.
And that seems to be the MO for the Cardinal pitching staff. As that one in the dirt and caught by Molina. Apparently it didn't bounce, and Barmes is out swinging. 3rd strikeout for Wacha. Cashner comes up. He grounded to second his first time.
Looked like changeup right there, Dick. Getting Barmes.
Well, all the pitchers, of course, embroiled in the who will hit a home run first amongst us. And last night, Tyson Ross going the opposite field for the home run. Many thought Cashner would be the man. Fouls it away.
Oh, you know Cash is trying to square up one right here, don't you think?
I think every time he comes up there, he wants to hit a home run. Takes 1-1. Breaking ball. Thought about bunting. 2-1. Here's Ross's home run last night. In case you missed it, it just kept right on a flying into the first row of the bleachers by the bullpen. Ground ball left side. Peralta deep in the hole. He's got to hurry. Cashner can run, and they just do get Andrew Cashner by a half stride. Let's go down to Chris.
Well, Dick, you never know who's going to be at a ballpark every night. Well, little did Pat Murphy know that 20 of his former players from Notre Dame were at the game yesterday. He had no idea until they surprised him after the game. He told me he was shocked. A few of them live in southern Illinois, came down to see him. A few of them still here tonight. Nice gesture.
Yeah, the Irishman Murphy, and he's very emotional. I bet he was deeply touched.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Getting that many players together from all around to gather at one spot, and that's not easy to do.
Raise the echoes. Ground ball into shallow right field, and another quick inning. We're at the halfway mark of the season. by Sycuan Casino, only 25 miles from Petco Park. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Double Jack today, only at Jack in the Box. Fans enjoying the concessions here, a sellout crowd. We had nearly 43,000 last night. All of that tonight, not an empty seat. This 4th of July weekend, they expect 4 consecutive sellouts. No score. We reached the bottom of the 5th inning. 3 singles for the Padres, 1 base hit, a single by Carpenter for St. Louis against Andrew Kashner. Middle 3 of the order, Hayward, Molina, and Grichuk. For Mike Matheny's Cardinals. Hayward, a long out to left field, sent Upton to the warning path. And he takes a changeup for a strike. And 2 strikes to Hayward. National League Rookie of the Year with the Atlanta Braves in 2010. Remember, he homered his very first game.
Yes. I've always liked this kid. Great athlete. Got some pop. Can run.
He's still young. 26 next month.
Yep.
Line drive, base hit. Oh, solid single to right field to open the 5th. Second Cardinal base hit.
Boy, you know what? The extension that Jason Hayward gets on this hit, it's almost reminiscent of Ken Griffey Jr., how Jr. used to get extended. Watch him go out and get this pitch.
That's a nice stroke.
Good looking swing.
That mowed some grass on its way out to Kemp in right field.
Well, let's see if Andrew can work a ground ball. We talked about that earlier, working down in the zone.
Molina flied to right his first time. Nearly the star last night, Molina. Cardinals had a man at third base in the 9th inning. And Molina tried to shoot one through the right side, and Derek Norris playing first base, able to dive and backhand the ball, take a hit away, and save the chance for the Padres to win it later.
Would be surprised if Mike Matheny put something on right here with Yadier Molina at the plate. Good bat control, hole on the right side, speed with Hayward at first. A lot of going on here for the Cardinals skipper.
44-year-old Matheny, his 4th season. There he goes. You called it. Fouled at the plate. Here's the game saver last night in the 9th inning. Molina up. Winning run 90 feet away. He shoots it hard, and Norris makes a grand play and gets the put out. Tossing to Kelly. Hayward back at first. Let's see if they send him again. Nope. And the pitch is low and away. 1-1. Jason Hayward at first, leadoff single here in the 5th. There he goes. Another foul. Got to go back.
Yeah, you know what? As a Jason Hayward was being deked maybe by Clint Barmer. Say that's a little nugget right there as a base runner. Stay on the base until the umpire tells you to get back. Don't listen to the players. Stay on the base because they might say, "Hey, dude, it was a foul ball," and it wasn't. Next thing you know, you get tagged out.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Molina. Good idea to get that base runner's chin in the dirt now and then. He goes, and it's a ground ball through the left side. He guessed right. Marmus was covering, and that left the left side wide open for the hit-and-run single. May have been a mix-up there. It looked like Jerko was covering as well.
Well, one thing's for certain. Andrew Cashner tries to bury two-seamer, and watch Molina get that bat out and punch it to that left side. A lot of times hitters will try to go inside out that pitch and take it the opposite way. But Molina, with the runner going, flash look. The play is right in front of Hayward, and he just keeps on motoring to third base.
Don't have to hit it hard. Just pick the spot on the hit and run, and beautifully executed. So first and third with no one out. As the Cardinals threaten here with Randall Grichuk. He struck out swinging the first time. Strike one on the inside corner at 95. Infield back. They'll concede the run for a chance at a double play. Cashner has a couple of strikeouts, Grichuk being one of them. You'd like to get that K here, and then a possible double play with the rookie Scruggs to follow. A weak swing there, 0-2.
Good slider down and out of the zone.
Two-strike pitch. Wouldn't chase. Cardinals have had trouble. They lost the last two games to the White Sox and then were defeated by the Padres last night. The problem has been base hits with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 13 last night. They're 1 for the last 26. Cashner trying to keep that going here. Get rid of Grichuk. First and third. No one out. High fastball backed him away. 2-2.
And that was by design. Derek Norris, after that sign, was out of the crouch and given the high target. Let's sneak into Derek Norris and see what he's going to put down here with the count being 2-2. Change up.
And it's low, 3-2. So he jumped in front of Grichuk, 2 strikes, and now full count. Now what do you throw?
Well, I'm guessing fastball away. He might throw him a changeup. If he throws it 2-2 to go 3-2, why not throw another one? No speed at first base. The ideal thing here would be a strike him out, throw him out. Sinker in.
In on his hands, he was able to spoil it.
And Molina's not going anywhere. And just for that reason. Potential for the punchy from Andrew Cashner to Grichuk.
Hard to see in there. And another foul. After a quiet 4 innings, the Cardinals with back-to-back singles to open the 5th. Hayward now at third, Molina at first. And a 3-2 pitch again coming up. Cashner to Grichuk. Broken bat, ground ball, foul ball. Barely so, almost rolled up the back of the runner. Was Hayward back on the base? Yes, he was.
He was. The ball hit him, but he was in foul territory, it looked like. Leading off, here we go.
That's why you lead off in foul territory.
Or was he? He was on the bag, yeah. Bob Davidson clearly saying foul ball.
Richard shattering his bat on the swing. Goes for a new one.
Let's take another look. As this ball, okay, the ball's foul, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, again, the 3-2 pitch. Quite a duel between Cashner and Grichuk.
This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat.
Just missed outside. How do you take that pitch? Bases are loaded. First walk from Cashner.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dick. With as many pitches and Andrew Cashner being around the plate, that is a tough one to take. And according to the home plate umpire, David Rackley and Fox Tracks,
it was outside.
It was outside.
You could see Pat Murphy yelling, "Where was that pitch?" And David Rackley, the umpire, saying it was wide. So no one out, bases full of birds.
Okay, say now, Cashner Norris going over the game plan. One thing's for sure, Andrew on a comebacker. I'm playing catch with you, Derek. Force at the plate. Try to get a 1-2-3 double play.
And Scruggs did hit it back to the pitcher his first time up. No score, but the Cardinals with the bases full and no one out. Fouled at the plate by Scruggs, who has just had 26 major league at bats this year, hitting well, 10 for 26. Poway High School star, now 27, was a Rebel at the UNLV. Called up from Memphis with the injuries to Holiday and Adams. Inside.
2 straight pitches on the inside corner. 2 seamers. What is Andrew Cashner trying to do? Pound him inside. So what does that mean? Solarte, Barmes, heads up, trying to pull that ball. But from Scruggs' standpoint, if he tries to maybe inside out that ball, could work into a ground ball to the second baseman, Jed Jerko.
Could be 2. There's 1, and Barmes back to first. A double play as the run scores. It's 1-0 St. Louis. No RBI for Scruggs, but Hayward checks in with the first run of the game.
Perfectly executed, and the Padres will gladly take 2 outs, give the Cardinals a run. We are in the 5th inning. Still a lot of baseball left. Big pitch by Andrew Cashner. Nice feed to Clint Barmes. Plenty of time.
Now the challenge is to hold it right at the 1 run. 2 outs now. Over at third base, Molina. And Tommy Pham in his major league debut as a starter. It's interesting that Scruggs from Poway but went to UNLV. Tommy Pham is from Las Vegas. And he, like Scruggs, a long shot pick of the Cardinals. 495 players had been selected before the Cardinals took Pham in the 16th round, and here he is in the big leagues. It could have been a strike, just a little high in the judgment of Rackley.
Yeah, when you look at Pham's resume, nothing really sticks out. So maybe being called up as a necessity with the injuries that the Cardinals have had, but he can go get him in center field.
And a ground ball to Jerko at second, and that'll end the inning. A couple of singles set up the double play, and the run scores 1-0.
supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com.
Here, Folds of Honor Foundation. Well, the Padres face a 1-0 deficit as we enter the 6th inning. Derek Norris, Matt Kemp, and Justin Upton for San Diego. And it's the little things that the Cardinals do that help them to win so many games. The hit and run single was the key to the bottom of the 5th inning off the bat of Molina as he rolled one through the empty left side, and that brought Hayward over to third where he could score on a double play ball. Norris, the infield hit to deep second base, and then the collision at first base. He's okay, thank goodness. One of 3 Padre singles off Waka. Off speed up high. .93-mile-an-hour strike, 1-1.
See if the Padre hitters do anything to try to disrupt the timing of Michael Waka. Works very, very quickly, gets right up on that mound and goes.
Sharply hit, but the second baseman Wong covers, and there's one away. Matt Kemp, a single and a walk tonight. First inning, line drive single to right and walked in the 3rd. That was the best chance for the Padres with 2 outs. Norris with an infield hit. Kemp walked, so 1st and 2nd. But Upton struck out. Breaking ball spins in there. Out of play. Lost in all the praise for the win last night, including Tyson Ross's home run. His first major league home run was the fact that Ross did not allow a Cardinal home run, and that is 12 consecutive games Ross has pitched without giving up a home run, and he's allowed only 3 all year. And Kemp knew it. He's walking to the dugout before you heard the sound in the glove of Molina. 5 strikeouts for Waka.
Well, the last time Justin Upton was up at the plate, that was in the 3rd inning. Waka goes after him away. There's a breaking ball in the dirt, mixing it up, trying to pepper it away, and then the changeup. So we saw a fastball, we saw a curveball, and we saw a changeup to put him away. Mixing it up nicely.
With a 1-0 lead, Waka now, bases empty, 2 outs, and Upton steps in. He's grounded out and struck out. Fouls that back. As we mentioned, both pitchers first-round selections, both the 19th player overall picked in their draft. And you can see why.
You know, one thing I just noticed about Waka in that last delivery, it was a curveball. Seemed like he tried to get up on top just a little bit more, and hitters can pick that up at times.
To third, charged by Carpenter. On the run, his throw was very high, and he wouldn't have gotten Upton anyway. Infield hit for Justin Upton. Padres' 4th of the night. Again, the hit's coming with 2 outs.
Playing way back. Carpenter way back by the grass, and no chance to get the speedy Upton.
Upton 15 for 15 base stealing. He's among the top 10 in the National League with 15, and this would be a spot where if he sees an opening, he'd try to get himself in scoring position for Jan Solarte. Struck out and grounded out. Ball 1. Well, game 3 of the series tomorrow, 10:30. Also Sunday will be on the air at 10:30. The last of the 4 games. Hope you'll join us. Despaigne tomorrow against Carlos Martinez, who is 9-3. Kennedy on Sunday against Lance Lynn, 5-4, but a 2.74 ERA. So the pitching's tough. The Padres knew that coming to St. Louis to start this long road trip. Good cut by Solarte. 1-1. Garrett Cole of the Pirates will probably see him in the 3-game series that follows this. 11 wins to lead the league, and Walker, Carrasco, Hernandez, and Keuchel all with 10. And another foul. Padre leader, of course, is James Shields with 7. And he will open that series in Pittsburgh. One and two. Solarte, 2 out, and Upton at first base. 1-0 Cardinals. Top of the 6th. There he goes. The pitch is low. The throw by Molina, not in time. 16 for 16. A stolen base for Upton. Go ahead. Molina so quick hitting. I didn't think it'd be close, and he throws a dart right on the bag. Upton just did slide in safely.
Well, let's see where the pitch is. It's down. Quick release, and he yanks it a little bit. It's on the shortstop side. Ooh, that was close.
It really was.
That was close. And Mike Matheny's on the top step. They're making a phone call, it seems like, in that Cardinal dugout.
1001, 1002, 1003. He got him up high. Had he been able to flag that tag down on the foreleg, he would probably been out.
See, that's too much time.
No, it is. There's got to be some. There are a lot of clocks going on now. There ought to be a clock. And what do you want to do? What's the show?
But of course,
Millionaire Show. Right. Call a friend and see if.
But of course, remember, this is the Cardinals, so they get an extra 30 seconds.
That's right. Where is that rule book? I missed that. Well, it gives Solarte a chance to tie it up with a base hit. He fouls that away. 2-2 the count. Only the second base runner for the Padres to reach second base tonight against Waka. The comment by my partner, Mr. Grant, is reflective of what happened last night when the Cardinals seemed to have their way. Ball gets away, and Upton not going to take a chance with Molina, so a full count to Solarte. That Molina would just stroll out to the mound and decide to have himself a nice little tete-a-tete, tete-a-tete. And there was no hurry by anyone to have the Cardinals play ball. Solarte, full count. Upton ready to run. Out in front of that pitch, deep to right field, and well fouled.
Well, we saw Molina try to throw out that runner, Upton, recently here in this game, and from his knees last night. Getting up on top, a perfect throw. Wow.
And races Matt Kemp.
The accuracy, the footwork.
Fly ball right field, but Hayward able to come up and get it. And so much for the chance to tie. Middle of the 6th, 1-0 St. Louis. All right, Mike and Mark, thank you. Michael Wacha leads off the 6th inning, the pitcher. Struck out the first time, then it'll be top of the order, Wong and Carpenter. One run, 3 hits for the Cardinals, no runs, 4 hits for San Diego. Foul tip, 2-1. Count levels. Interesting giveaway tonight for the Cardinals. The first 20,000 fans received a replica of the 1982 World Series championship ring when the Cardinals defeated the Milwaukee Brewers.
That was a good series.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and significant personally because that was the World Series that I had the chance to call on NBC Sports with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. Look at the ring, and it actually has some weight to it. That's a terrific giveaway.
Very nice.
And apparently they're going to have a series of the Cardinal championship rings, you know, in the modern era when rings were awarded the players. And you know, get your collection. I'm sure the Cardinal fans will want to be here to get those.
I remember that one well. Bruce Sutter closing it out at Old Busch Stadium.
On the carpet. Ground ball foul by Wong, who was fly twice to Venable in center field. Robin Yount and Paul Molitor with the Brewers.
Oh, man. I remember Old Busch. That place used to get so hot with that AstroTurf. 120, 130 on the turf, maybe 140.
Wong is a rookie last year, hit 12 home runs. He's got 9 this season. Foul back, and that doesn't sound like much, but listen to this. By hitting 12 home runs, he was the youngest Cardinal second baseman to hit more than 10 since Rogers Hornsby in 1921.
That's pretty good company.
That sure is. One of the many beautiful statues outside Busch Stadium here. Line drive, hooking foul. First row, and then caroms out. They have all the Hall of Fame Cardinals and key players, and from Dizzy Dean to Ozzie Smith to Stan Musial, of course, Red Shane Dean, statues out beyond in that left field corner outside. And there's all of, and then Jack Buck has his own special place on the wall outside the left field area. Right field, Kemp back, and another outfield fly off the bat of Kelton Wong. And time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. He's got to be able to lift 300 pounds now. Use hashtag SDDataStrongFan, and you might just see yourself in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Yeah, the history of this franchise, and the game is generational, and this one in St. Louis certainly plays out. From infants to great grandpas. They can all tell you about a world championship Cardinal team. They've won 11.
Yep.
Matt Carpenter, a single and a fly ball to left. And time now for our Cholula flamethrower.
And with the hard throwing the right-handed Texan on the mound, 97. That's smoking.
Oh, I love when you get breakfast.
Man, water. Whew. That's some gas right there. 97, that's high octane. Need to score some points for Andrew, though.
That'll make your taco bubble, you know.
Yeah.
With hot sauce. 2 away, bases empty to Carpenter, 2-1.
Where did that miss?
Just inside, apparently.
Oh, Andrew's snatching back that baseball, throwing Oh, just off the plate a little bit. Boy, from the center field camera, it looked closer than that, but box track says it's inside.
Frozen jaw stare from Murphy. And Carpenter fouls it off. Now remember, Carpenter walks a lot, among the leaders, 42 times this year. He will work the count. Looks like Pomerantz's brother was here to.
This guy right there. Oh my gosh, that's a good call.
How you doing at Clemson, fella? 3-2. And he walked him. The second given up by Castner. 2 outs here in the 6th. Brings up Peralta.
Okay, Andrew may be a little upset with that one call that was in off the plate a little bit. You know, from his vantage point, sure, it looked like a strike. Did not get the call. I mean, we've seen that call before, called a strike, but it just didn't happen there. Time to regroup. A little visit from Derek Norris. You got 2 outs. Make a good pitch here to Peralta to get out of this inning.
Peralta, double play ball, a line drive slicing into the right field corner with Carpenter at first base. Carpenter thought it's going to land fair. Kemp tracked it down and fired to first for a double play. That's a strike. Changeup. It's a slider that took plenty off. "33 years of age now, Peralta. Many times an All-Star. Fly ball to left off the head of the bat. Upton racing in and catches the ball on the run. We've completed 6 in St. Louis. 1-0 Cardinals. Four singles. He has struck out 5 Padre batters and shutout ball so far. Andrew Castner has been his match with one exception, a run in the 5th inning. Double play helped him as Kemp going into the corner to grab the fly ball off the bat of Peralta, and a perfect throw for a double play, and hats off to him. Then the 5th inning, line drive single off the bat of Hayward, followed by Yadier Molina's hit and run single as he rolls one through the empty left side, 1st and 3rd. That set up things for the double play ball. Scruggs 4-6-3, but the run scores, and that's all we have. 1-0 St. Louis. Our Harrah's game summary. Top of the 7th. Jerko, Venable, Barmes against Waka. 83 pitches for the big right-hander. 4 singles and a walk. That's been it. Padres have been able to move a runner to second base only twice in the game. That ball hit well by Jerko to deep left field. That's got a lot of carry, and Jerko will touch them all. The man from West Virginia has just tied it up with his third home run of the season. And the silence is deafening at Busch Stadium. A 1-1 tie.
A 2-0 fastball out of the hand of Waka. Boy, he missed big time. And Jed stayed on top of that one enough to send it on its way.
First extra base hit of the night. A big one, a home run for Jerko.
Hey, and you know what? Waka does not give up a lot of home runs, folks. That's only the 7th home run he's given up in 90-plus innings, almost 100 innings.
Will Venable. A single, and he lined out to right as last time. So we're back even at 1 here in the 7th inning. Slap foul.
Yeah, 100-plus innings up to that home run there. Only 7th home run given up by Waka. Nice swing, Jed Jerko.
0-2. Little looper on the infield, and Wong will squeeze that for the first out here in the 7th inning. They measure Jerko's blast at 404 feet. Clint Barmas has flied out and struck out. So they're all singles. Norris, Kemp, Upton, and Venable, except for the blast by Jerko.
And remember last night, 4 of the 5 runs for the Padres came via the long ball. So hail to the long ball. I love home runs.
And the Cardinals are 3rd stingiest in terms of giving up home runs, and we're going to Pittsburgh where they really are tough. Nationals 2nd. But the Padres with 4 home runs in the 2 games thus far here in St. Louis. Solarte, Ross, and Venable last night. And Barmas chases. 0-2. Pushing that walk-up pitch count to 91. Ground ball right side. Wong ranging to the outfield grass and throws him out. Good play.
Let's take a look at that home run swing from Jed Jerko. It was a 2-0 fastball. Remember, it was up. Watch on contact. And Mark Sweeney talks about it all the time, about that top hand. Getting on top of that ball just enough rather than popping it up. A lot of times hitters will swing underneath that pitch, but Jed was all over it to tie it up.
So Andrew Kashner steps into the batter's box. He's back even at 1. He's grounded out twice, to second and to short. Takes a good hit. Elsewhere in the NL West, as we told you earlier, Washington edged the Giants 2-1 earlier today. Colorado has a 3-0 lead early at Arizona. Dodgers host the Mets later. And down goes Kashner. 6 strikeouts for Waka, but the big swing of Jerko has tied it up. Jed Jerko with his 3rd home run of the season, and the Padres and Cardinals are even at 1. Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. No phony sales, just pure value. By Petco, what we feed them matters. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Yeah, this big crowd at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, rising and singing the baseball anthem, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and we're ready to go on this 4th of July weekend in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jet Jerko has tied it with that long home run, 404 feet. And here in the 7th, it's Hayward, Molina, Grichuk, the middle three of the St. Louis batting order.
We've got ourselves a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel going on here in the Show Me State.
Hayward roped one to right field, and that set up the run for the Cardinals in the 5th inning as he came around on a single by Molina and a double play ball. Fastball at 91, 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1.
Trying to see what Andrew Cashner's doing here to Jason Hayward. Everything's away. That breaking ball there, trying to backdoor it. And the outfield playing to go the other way just a little bit. Venable on the shortstop side of second base.
That's in there. 2-2. Fouled at the plate. That was quite a trade between the Braves and the Cardinals in the offseason. You know, Shelby Miller is one of the top arms in the league, so
Sure
he
is.
goes to Atlanta. We all saw how effective he is. And then Rookie of the Year, top player Hayward, into the outfield for the Redbirds. 2-2. Way outside.
He really tried to overthrow that one.
Trying to keep him off base, leading off this 7th inning, a 1-1 tie. Lead off walk. Third free pass from Cashner. And tonight's game is presented in HD by Sony 4K. 91 pitches now for Cashner. Molina working with Hayward back in the 5th inning. They executed the hit and run. Here comes Pat Murphy to the mound, and that may be all for Cashner.
Well, let's see if he has a little conversation right here and tries to pick the brain a little bit of Andrew Cashner. And
no, he's going to the bullpen.
Wow. Early
hook. But on this humid night and 91 pitches, Murphy feels it's time to go to the bullpen. So a pitching change. Cashner leaves. Bottom of the 7th inning with the game tied at 1. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And this pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford as Brandon Maurer comes in from the pen. Ground ball to third. Solarte goes to second for 1. Back to first base. A double play. Molina wraps into an around the horn double play. 1 pitch. Maurer gets 2 outs. Third double play for the Padres tonight.
So a couple of factors here as Pat Murphy went out to take out Andrew Cashner. He got his ground ball. That's what Brandon Maurer can do with that slider. 91 pitches. It would have been the 3rd time around against Molina, and he feels a fresh arm like Mauer's can do the job. And as Dick mentioned, pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. There you see the 38th game, and look at those numbers for Brandon Maurer. You talk about pounding the zone. 39 plus innings. Very few walks. He good.
Randall Grichuk has struck out and walked. The attendance tonight, a big house, 47,330, the 4th largest crowd in Busch Stadium 3 history.
Wow.
20th sellout of the season. They packed them in tonight. 47,330. 1 and 2 to Grichuk. Called a sellout last night, just under 43,000. They have more than 4,000 more stuffed in here tonight. Just outside 2 and 2. And 4th of July, fans will be coming for the afternoon game tomorrow. The big fireworks along the Mississippi tomorrow night.
It seems like SRO here at Busch 3.
3 and 2.
Hey, get a ticket, come to the ball game, crack open a cold frosty, as Mike Shannon would say.
Is that how he says it?
Yeah. Have a hot dog, have a cold one.
Popped up high in the middle of the diamond. Alonso coming down. Calls everyone away, and a great job by Brandon Maurer. We've completed 7, tied at 1. Hits. as Kevin Sechrist comes in.
Well, not too often you see left-handers who really throw hard. This kid can get up to 97 miles an hour, change up in a slider as well. A little bit of funkiness to his delivery. Will throw across his body. And it's been his 40th game. Oh, yeah, great numbers. 47 strikeouts, Dick, and 35 in a third.
Another big basketball-sized pitcher, 6'5" and 215. Alonso to lead it off. Takes outside in the first fastball at 93. Alonso 0 for 3, 3 groundouts facing Walker. Norris and Kemp to follow. So it will be decided by the bullpens. Padres winning it last night with Sean Kelly. And Kimbrel with the save. Low and away, 2-0. Here's another one of those gems for the Cardinals. Everyone else turned their back on, but not the Cardinals. They picked him 1,235th overall.
Wow. I'd like to see if he kind of developed later on. They saw something they liked in his delivery. Maybe they talked to the kid. They found out what was between his ears and in his heart, and they drafted him because of that. And then maybe he started throwing a little harder as he matured. But the Cardinals find a way.
Yeah. 2008, the 41st round, they selected him. He'll be 26 in a couple of weeks. Third season with the Birds. 2-1. Alonso went after ball 3 on that last pitch, and he hits this one into right field for a base hit. So Alonso with a leadoff single in the 8th. That's the Padres' 6th base hit, and brings up Norris. This late in the game, let's see how manager Murphy works it.
Lefty on lefty, that is always a good sign. Yonder Alonso has made great strides doing just that.
Infield hit in 3 at bats. The other 2 times he grounded to second for Derek Norris. Will he be up there to bunt? Nope. Swinging and takes strike 1. 95 on the fastball strike. Sechrist posted the lowest ERA by a Cardinals relief pitcher in team history last year. 0.45. How stingy can you get?
Yeah, that's some good arms throughout the history of this ball club. We talk about the tradition, the great players, great pitchers.
That was not last year. That was in 2013 when he worked in 45 games. He was 3-1 with an 0.45 ERA. Threw that one through the swing of Norris. 0-2. Glenn Hoffman throwing out the semaphore. See if it plays in the work or all decoy. 2 strikes, not much you can do here.
Yeah.
Strike 3 call, 3 pitches, and Norris takes a walk.
Well, let's see what Sechrist throws him right here. That's just a good old-fashioned fastball down the middle of the plate. Maybe looking off speed. Slider, changeup.
Matt Kemp, single walk and a strikeout. Now we'll see if Murphy puts something on. Big hole right side with Scruggs holding on the runner. Kemp's hit was that way to right field. That's sailing toward the crowd down the right field side and will just fall back about 2 rows. So 81 games in the bank, and this is the first of the second half of the season officially. Game 82.
You know, if something were to happen, Dick, with the left-hander out there, you got to. It's a do-or-die thing. As soon as Sechrist lifts that leg, the runner would be going.
run, so average speed, but a good heady base runner. Right back to the mound. To second base for one. On to first, a double play. 1-6-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 1.
Maybe the treadmill. This is how the Padres bullpen gets their cardio in every day before a game. They're out there playing ultimate frisbee. That's Sean Kelly with the Patriotic Sox, but here they are. Sean Kelly has always done it. He started with this group. He lost one of the frisbees at San Francisco, so I asked him, how many have you lost over all your years doing this? He said about 20 of them, and they're all sitting in the fountains at Kauffman Stadium. So whoever cleans those out has come back with a few frisbees. Also asked him about those nice socks. Picked him up at Coronado. I think, Mark Grant, you're a fan of the fancy socks. You need a pair like that.
Oh, I love that. I love being patriotic and living in this great country of ours and being fortunate to do so. Sorry about being free, having our own rules, and a great way to get in shape. Hey, give me a choice, Dick. Run 10 minutes, elliptical 10 minutes, or a bike 10 minutes, or play basketball or whatever frisbee for an hour and a half. I'm choosing the latter.
Play a game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's not work. That's fun. The
Good
others
stuff,
work.
Chris.
That's why they call it workout. They don't call it play out.
That's right.
Joaquin Benoit, bottom of the 8th inning, will face Scruggs, Pham, and the pitcher spot. A 1-1 tie. Padres about hit the Cardinals 6-3. Padre home run, Jed Jerko. Fly ball slicing down the right field side and out of play. Benoit pitched last night, his usual spot, the 8th inning, gave up a walk and a single with 2 outs, but then struck out Wong to get out of trouble. All singles, the 3 hits for St. Louis.
Boy, Andrew Casher really pitched his heart out. Turn it over to Brandon Maurer, who got a double play, picked up his right-hander. Now tied in the 8th. Benoit's your guy.
Big swing by Xavier Scruggs. We mentioned he's hit at least 21 home runs each of the last 4 years in the minor leagues. The power bat from Poway.
The Titan.
Two strikes.
Look at all those pitches in the zone.
Ooh, and then he hits him. Oh, my. Hit the leadoff batter. That's begging for trouble. 2-strike pitch. Got away from Benoit.
Well, wanted to try to bury it inside, out of the hand. It is a fastball, and man.
Well, part of it is Scrub started his swing and left his forearm out over the plate. He's coming out of the game, so that is not good. Sorry to see that. Instead of falling away from the pitcher, turning away from the pitch, he started his swing, and so his forearm was there on the inside edge. Peter Borges is the pinch runner for Scruggs. Pham in his first major league start. 2 ground outs. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw by Norris is not in time. So a hit batsman and a stolen base is good as a leadoff double. He stole that one on Benoit. He had a huge jump.
And Peter Borges 4 for 10 in stolen bases this year. He's got speed. And this one, the high throw, boy, slides late right into the back there. You almost smelled that one coming.
Mark Reynolds, the powerful but man who strikes out a lot, is in the on-deck circle.
Probably going to try to bunt him over maybe here.
Well, he didn't show bunt. They're trying to manufacture a run. Matheny hit batsman in the steal. No one out. Trying to snap this 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Infield in at the corners. They're looking for the sacrifice, but he didn't show it. There's a big hole on the left side if he's swinging. Outside. 1-1. Off the fist, that's as good as a sacrifice. They get the 4-3 put out, but over to third is the pinch runner Borges. So a hit batsman, a steal, and a soft ground out. And the Cards, without much of an effort, have the tie-breaking run 90 feet away. And here's Mark Reynolds. No, they called him back, and they're going to go with Garcia. Greg Garcia. Another one of the young players for the Redbirds this year. Infield will have to play in. Garcia came up for a cup of coffee late last year.
Oh, with that runner on third, always have to be aware of the squeeze.
See what kind of a bunter he is. He does not have a sacrifice hit this year. In the dirt. Ball 1.
Well, when you're 1 for your last 32 with runners in scoring position, you never know. Mike Matheny and the way the Cardinals do things are always, I don't want to say trickery, but they're always up to trying doing something. And it not necessarily has to be on the first pitch, maybe the second or third pitch.
Garcia 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Cracks that one back foul.
Mike Matheny showing the signs to Jose Oquendo at third base, their coach. Which hand is hot, which one is not. And the secret weapon, Jose Oquendo, relays the sign.
Tied at 1 without the aid of a base hit. The Cardinals, with 1 out, have a man at third to break the tie. Pinch hitter Greg Garcia. Two and one. Garcia from El Cajon went to Valhalla High School and then matriculated University of Hawaii, where he's the teammate of Colton Wong. I mentioned last night that his grandfather, Dave Garcia, the former manager in the big leagues, often a spectator at Padre games. 2 balls and a strike. There's the changeup. 2-2.
It's his best secondary pitch. He throws it just like his fastball. The bottom just drops right out from underneath that one. My goodness, the old trap door.
So Garcia pinch hitting here, and on deck is his former teammate with the Rainbows, Kelton Wong.
Another changeup. Derek Norris, the old wiggle.
Got him. 2 away. So they're not going to score on an out. It's up to Wong, the leadoff man.
Went back to the Acambio. Swung on and missed, down and away. Perfect location. Late movement, down and away. I'm guessing Mike Matheny was thinking there, you know, with the infield being in, I feel comfortable with my guy trying to hit the ball, cutting down the range, not going with the squeeze or the safety squeeze. Well, those are the hunches you take, right?
And here's Wong, who has flied out all 3 at bats tonight. Twice to center, once to right. Fly ball to left. That sends Upton back. That's really carrying, and Upton almost to the wall, 1 step away to drag it down. Oh my. To the 9th. Tied at 1.
Yep.
So if you say he was a great guy, that means he's no longer a great guy?
Yeah, he's definitely dead. 100%. Because he's a great guy. He was a great guy. He's dead, right? Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So if you say he was a great guy, that means he's no longer a great guy?
Yeah, he's definitely dead. 100%.
You do such a great job on that. Tonight on Padres POV, presented by Saquon Casino, the Padres will share their favorite 4th of July memories. Look back at Lou Gehrig's farewell speech and more sights and sounds of the national holiday throughout the years. Tonight, after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego. Enter the relief ace of the Cardinals, Trevor Rosenthal. He pitched last night in the 9th inning and gave up a leadoff double to Jed Jerko, but the Padres were unable to get Jerko home from third with 1 out. Fireworks off in the distance, an early celebration I imagine it's going to be spectacular. Just the sight alone by the arch along the Mississippi. The show tomorrow night. Padres would like to produce one of their own here in the ninth against Rosenthal as Upton leads off. Ball one. Infield hit in 3 trips for Upton and a stolen base. He's still perfect. 16 steals and 16 tries. Mark Reynolds has gone into the game at first base for Scruggs. We hope that Scruggs hit by the pitch. That's nothing serious, but taken out of the game. And Rosenthal throws hard. 96 on that fastball. Quackenbush and Kimbrel in the Padres bullpen.
Quack, if it remains tied. Kimbrel in for the save if the Padres take the lead.
And Upton swings and misses strike 3. Last 23 appearances for Rosenthal, no earned runs, 23 strikeouts, and opposing hitters batting only .205.
I would say that's a pretty good run.
So just as Waka has brilliant stuff and showed it tonight, allowed only the 1 run, the 7th inning home run by Jerko, Rosenthal comes in with flame throwing stuff. A nightmare for opposing hitters. Solarte struck out, grounded out, flied out. And near miss, 96. Jerko, the home run hitter. The Padre run is on deck. That ball hit well to right center field. That's deep in between the outfielders and off the glove of center fielder Pham, and on his way to third is Solarte with a triple. A 1-out triple for Jan Solarte. He homered last night, and he drilled that one just off Pham's effort in right center field. And the Padres have the go-ahead score 90 feet away with 1 out here in the ninth. I didn't know Solarte could run that fast. He got around the bases very quickly.
He most certainly did, and he turned around to Trevor Rosenthal, a fastball on a 2-1 count. Oh, yeah, he's putting it into a lower gear here and picking him up and putting him down quite nicely. Stay on the bag. Stay on the bag.
Ooh, jumped up there.
Yes, he did.
Infield comes in. Jerko the hitter. Just a nice fly ball. Get the job done here. Strikeout, fly out, and home run for Jerko tonight.
Hey, be on your horse down there at third base. Secondary lead. Ball in the dirt.
Late on that swing, 97, a little extra on the fastball.
Yeah, he can get it up to 100 now. Average is about 97. Cutter changeup curveball from number 44, Trevor Rosenthal.
Don't have to overswing with that kind of fastball.
That's right.
Just barrel it up. And strike 2, 1-2, 98. Carpenter, Peralta on the left side, Wong and Reynolds on the right side in tight. Outside, 2-2. This sellout crowd of 47,000 plus trying to help out plate umpire Rackley. That would have been a strike last night. Rackley, a tighter strike zone.
Fastball away.
And it's 3-2. Pitch is clearly outside. Here's the big one, full count. Ground ball. Whoa, watch out. A line drive. He was way out in front. Well, gives us a chance to introduce our Bill Howe play of the game, and Jed Jerko with a 1-0 game on the board greets starter Michael Wacha with a 404-foot home run, number 3 on the season for Jerko. That tied it up at 1. That's where we stand. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's going to fly into the stands. Had it been fair, would have been a very interesting play because Hayward has a terrific arm in right field. You got to hit it fairly deep if you're going to go to right field. Guarding the plate, trying to get something he can knock through the infield. Jerko. A nervous crowd here at Busch Stadium as the Padres 90 feet away from taking the lead here in the 9th inning. Line drive base hit. Jerko delivers. Solarte scores, and the Padres have a 2-1 lead. A big night for Jed Jerko, a home run and an RBI single. That was a good at-bat for Jerko.
Most certainly was. You got to realize Trevor Rosenthal throws the ball about 98 to 100 miles an hour, but then he throws him a breaking ball here. It speeds up the bat of Jed Jerko, and he stays on it long enough. Go out and get it, reach for it, one hand over the head of Carpenter, and just like that, the tie is broken. Great at-bat by Jed Jerko.
Brings up Venable, a single, a line out, and a pop-up. He was the man last night off the bench with a 2-run homer in the 11th to win it. Jerko has provided the muscle tonight with a home run and an RBI single.
It was just a poorly located breaking ball out of the hand of Rosenthal, and Jed Jerko took advantage of it.
0-2 to Venable. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be the big guys, Carpenter, Peralta, Hayward, Molina, scheduled for St. Louis. Kimbrel is ready to work. Outside. Well, that was interesting with Jerko. He wasn't catching up with his fastball.
I know.
And he finally said, well, maybe I can fool him with a breaking ball.
It wasn't the pitch, it was the location of that pitch. Rosenthal did not intend to throw it where he did. He wanted it down and away, but you're right. Good call.
2-2. And that all, of course, is Molina is the man calling the pitches back there, and he's without fault.
Yeah, Rosenthal just did not execute that pitch.
A 1-out RBI single for Jerko. Foul tip, and it's caught by Molina. Second strikeout for Rosenthal. Clint Barmas, the batter. Barmas 0 for 3. Fly to right, struck out, and grounded to second base. 21 pitches for Rosenthal here in the 9th. Swung on and fouled. Now the Padres arrived here late on Sunday night after a tough 2-game series with Seattle, not scoring a run, and knowing they had 3 very tough opponents and a long road trip. Barmas fouls it away, and the Cardinals were the best record in baseball and certainly the best home record. They're ready for him, and the Padres battled to an extra inning win last night. Have come from behind 2-1 tonight. Two outs. Jerko with the RBI single, still at first. 2 strikes on Barmas. Strike 3 call. He strikes out the side, Rosenthal, but in between gives up a triple to Solarte and an RBI single to Jed Jerko. Solarte's triple with 1 out. And Jerko, a line drive single over Carpenter's head, and the Padres have a 2-1 lead. Padres, a reminder to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SDDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. Craig Kimbrell, he got the save last night, number 20, and he'll be facing Carpenter, Peralta, and Hayward in the home half of the ninth inning with the Padres in front 2-1. And a look at our Fan Diego fans of the game.
Yeah, they're out there, and when the Cardinal fans are quiet, we can hear them rooting for their Padres. And big time to root right here for Craig Kimbrell. 20 for 21 in the save opportunity column.
Remember last night we ran in the elevator. A family from Iowa,
That's
San Diego
right.
fan, drove all the way over to see the Padres.
Yep.
All right, here's Kimbrell. This is his stage. Try to save another. Matt Carpenter, tough leadoff man, single and a walk, 1 for 2. And swings and fouls that away. Tough man to keep off base, but he is 0 for 4 facing Kimbrell.
Yeah, you know, there are saves and then there are tough saves. 1-run lead, 2, 3, 4 due up. And even though the Cardinals don't have Matt Adams and Matt Holliday, still, that's tough go around for any closer.
Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. Kimbrell will, best guess is, probably be the Padre representative in the All-Star game. In that none of the position players are in the top 5 in the balloting. 1-1. 97 misses a little wide. And you've got to throw a strike to Carpenter. Good eye. He's walked for the 43rd time tonight. .97.
That's coming right after him, too. That pitch looked like it split the heart of the plate. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
2-2 to Carpenter. Jed Jerko a home run and an RBI single to knock in the 2 Padre runs. 3 outs away from what would be another crucial win for them starting this road trip. Just spoils it, and that's what he does. He doesn't take the big swing, gets the wood on the ball, tries to put it in play. If not, he spoils a good pitch. Ground ball to first. Alonso scoops it up and takes it to the sack for the out. Now let's go back to our keys to the game, Mark Grant.
Okay, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. Build off yesterday. Well, what a great emotional win. The 2-run shot off the bat of Will Venable. And Jed Jerko a solo homer in the 7th. RBI single in the 9th. That's for the 2-1 lead and set the table for Kemp and Upton. Alonzo Norris 2 for 8 with a couple singles.
Solid B.
Thank you, sir.
Jahani Peralta grounded to short. Lined into a double play. Right fielder Kemp back to first and a fly ball to left. He leads the team in home runs. And he gets a breaking ball for the first strike.
That's the power curveball out of the hand of Craig Kimbrell.
Jason Hayward next. Another breaking ball, 1-1. Game time tomorrow here on Fox Sports San Diego, 10:30. Despaigne and Carlos Martinez, another of the outstanding starters for St. Louis. He's 9-3 and a 2.80 ERA. A ball and a strike. Ground ball into left field. So Peralta brings hope to this big sellout crowd. A 1-out single. Only the 4th hit for St. Louis tonight.
Well, I'm wondering if this was a breaking ball, almost reminiscent of the Jed Jerko base hit to take the lead to Johnny Peralta. Yep, high breaking ball and speeds up the bat of Peralta for the hit.
Here's Hayward. Long out to left. Singled and scored the Redbirds run back in the 5th inning, and he walked the last time.
Pete Kozma looks like he's going to pinch run for Peralta. He is at first base.
So Kozma, utility infielder, brings a little more speed. Dangerous Hayward, the batter. Here are teammates with the Braves last year, Kimbrel and Hayward. Kimbrel got Hayward to line out to end the game in the 11th last night. Lined out to left. Outfield doubles defense way back. Ground ball up the middle. Farmas to second, throws to first, a double play, and the Padres have another hard-earned win. Oh my. 5-3 in extras last night. They come from behind on the bat of Jed Jerko. The final, San Diego 2 and St. Louis 1. Mike Pomerantz.
Yeah.